up, Jets fans? This is GreenBean walking around today with a little bit of a public service announcement. See, the last couple days I've had the opportunity to be in my car alone for a long time, which is like gold these days. Drove from Williamsburg to Charlottesville to UVA and back. All told, it's about 4.5 hours of driving, and I got to catch up on all kinds of podcasts and Sirius XM, NFL radio, and all kinds of stuff, ESPN. And it just was the same basic theme the whole time. Oh, Joe Douglas might have done this, but now he needs to do this. Joe Douglas didn't do that. Will the Jets get rid of their first-round picks? They've traded the last 5 first-round picks. The Jets this, the Jets that, the Jets this. Not one mention that the guy took 3 first-round choices by Mike McCagnon. The only one that even should have been here was Sam Darnold. Leonard Williams he got Executive of the Year. Leonard Williams he took when we already had Wilkerson, Snacks Harrison, and we just took Sheldon Richardson with a top 15 pick 2 years earlier. You got to take best player available. I don't know, the 5 teams that were before you didn't do that. They took the best player available at a position of need. Not Mike McCagnon. And he did that throughout his tenure. Jamal Adams, who can even argue that it was supposed to be or should have been Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes? Who? They were both sitting there. The hire of Adam Gase. Todd Bowles. Everybody's with this revisionist history saying Todd Bowles was a bad firing by the Jets. Oh, they really dropped the ball there. Look at what he did in the Super Bowl. Todd Bowles hired 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years, 2 of who were retired before he hired them. 2. How do you find 2 retired offensive coordinators if you're relevant as a coach? You can't just get somebody that's on the upswing? No. That's all you need to know about him, okay? That was a failure. And Adam Gase. Who didn't know Adam Gase was a bad hire? You want to know who didn't know? Colin Cowherd. He called Jets fans morons. Morons was the word he used. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, where are you now? Where are you since Adam Gase literally won 2 games last year by the skin of his teeth? 0-14. Where were you then? So Joe Douglas has an opportunity. He's been the unquestioned boss for 4 months. Last year, he shared that with Adam Gase, the most inept person on our staff. So Joe Douglas is looking at, the narrative, the Jets can't keep their own first-round picks, blah, blah, blah. So Leonard Williams just got paid $21 million. Jamal Adams wants to be the highest-paid safety at minimum. More than likely, he wants to be the highest-paid defensive player because he's a 2-time All-Pro that can't catch. Literally can't catch. And we're not talking about he's always up front so he doesn't get the opportunity. Dude, he's had numerous passes hit him in the hands, chest, and face. He can't catch. That's part of the job description for a defensive back. All-Pro. So he wants $16 million minimum. And then Sam Darnold's rookie contract for the 32nd ranked quarterback in the NFL for the last 3 years is $19 million. All told, that's $55 million. So he has a choice. Pay them $55 million and try to build around it. And these guys haven't changed a single thing. Or the alternative, which is to create an entire additional draft class of capital. 2 firsts, a second, 2 thirds, a fourth, 2 fifths, and a 6th. That's what Joe Douglas got for those 3 guys. Why don't we talk about that? All we talk about is how he has to hit on his picks. No shit, he has to hit on his picks. He hasn't had the opportunity to. This is in 1 year he did that. There hasn't been a draft. Why is that your narrative? Why are we talking about all the first-round picks that we have gotten rid of, all the quarterbacks that have never made it, without talking about the ineptitude of the ownership? That's where the problem was. The hiring of the guys. Look at the quarterbacks. We didn't ruin quarterbacks. We took bad quarterbacks. Pat McAfee had Frank Reich as one of his examples. Oh my God, even Frank Reich when he went to the Jets was a failure. Frank Reich is a career backup. A career backup. He had one time to start, and he started with us, and he sucked. You know why? Because that's why he was a backup his whole career. Give me a break. It's all about how you spin it, and you can clearly see the narrative. Everything is changing around the Jets, and they hate it. They don't know anything. They don't get scoops. When is the last scoop Rich Cimini broke to you? When? When's the last scoop Connor Hughes or Connor Rogers actually broke? All the things they said this offseason were dead wrong. Even Ian Rappaport and Schefter, when they reported the Sam Darnold trade, you know how they said it? This is what's been filed. Filed. That means this shit's done. They didn't know. They had no idea what was going on. Nobody has anything on the Jets, and they hate it. They absolutely hate it. You can clearly see the winds of change. Everything that's gone on since Joe Douglas has been here is different than the previous 10, 20 years. Every single thing. But they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about all the first-round picks we've had to get rid of, all the bad picks we've had over the years. I saw something the other day. They actually talked about Jeff Lageman. Like, what are we talking about here? Kyle Brady. Because that's the narrative. We are the number one fan base in the NFL for two things. One, for passion, loyalty, and the shit we deal with. Number two, we're the number one fan base to pick on. They know it. Without us, they would be nothing. And that's the thing. We don't need them. They need us. If you can't tell everything's different, then I don't know what you're looking at. And here's something from Mark Schlereth. If that was any other fan base, what he did. Now, it didn't get me upset. I don't even care. I don't even really know who he is. I remember him. I didn't know he had a thing on Ray. I don't even know what he does. He hasn't crossed my wavelengths since he was a player. But let me tell you something. What he did is he literally said, go fuck yourself. That's what that gesture is. Right? Now, listen. While you didn't get me upset, you didn't hurt my feelings, I'm just going to tell you something. I have a boundary in my life. One of them is this. I don't allow people to say that to me. That is what we call unacceptable. He called himself, he said, poke the bear and you're going to get bit. What do you mean, the bear? Dude, you're supposed to be the professional. You're the one with the career as some sort of announcer. You're letting guys on Jets Twitter get you to the point where you go on air and say, fuck you? With some shit from 25 years ago? It's unacceptable. And you know what you are? You're not a bear. You're a bully. If that was right to my face, it would have ended right there. It's unacceptable. I do not allow that. And that's what that is. If that was the 12, if that was the Saints fans, if that was the Patriots fans, unacceptable. They wouldn't take it, but it's us. So the whole NFL reposted it and laughed. Look how funny Mark Schlereth is. What, it's funny to tell a fan base to fuck yourself? You do know that we're everything. The NFL should be fining the shit out of him. He should be in court. How dare you talk to the lifeblood of this organization like that? But it's the Jets fans, so they'll let it slide. Listen, I want to tell you something. I'm going to say it very clearly right now. Jets fans, you have so much power. So much power. Then you don't need them. When's the last scoop any of these guys gave you? When's the last news any of them gave you? Rich Cimini. They need us. And what we should do as a collective, and I call you to do it, I just did it. Unfollow, unsubscribe to every single one of them. If the 150,000 Jets fans that can hear this did it at once, they would feel it. You know what happens to Rich Cimini if every Jets fan unfollows him and stops reading his fucking garbage? He's over. What else is he going to do? Who else wants to hear from Rich Cimini? Who? You think the Cleveland Brown fans give a shit? San Diego or whoever, Los Angeles Chargers? They don't even know who he is. And that's what we should do. And that's what I call you to do. We have the power. They need us. We don't need them. They don't give anything. They don't provide anything to us except negative spin. Joe Douglas has to hit on his picks. Everybody has to hit on his picks. Where's the talk about the Titans of reaching for a first-round right tackle in Isaiah Wilson last year? He didn't have a first-round grade. They reached for him, and they already had to get rid of him as a first-round pick. They traded him for a flip-flop of sevenths, and then Miami had to cut him too. What happened to that? That was last year. That wasn't even a year ago. Why aren't we talking about the Bears' inability to get anything for Mitch Trubisky after all the trade up for him? Joe Douglas got a second, a fourth, and a sixth for the 32nd ranked quarterback in the NFL. Where's that? Where's the talk of the magic? The complete revamping of an entire medical department. Where's that? They could give a shit less. It's all about he needs to hit on his picks. Are you going to cut your next first round pick? We want to pick a guy you don't have to cut in 2 years. Joe Douglas hasn't cut one of his first-round picks. He hasn't cut any of his picks. He's cut Mike McCagnon's picks. And we hated those picks when they were made. You pay him $55 million to do what? To drop passes? Give me a break. So this is the thing. We have the power. We should call to arms as a collective today, unfollow every single one of them, flip them the bird on the way out, and don't look back. Let Rich Cimini scramble and explain to his bosses why it is that everybody's not listening to him. I don't know. I was being a jerk off just like you said. Don't let them fool you. There is a narrative. They have zero interest in the Jets succeeding. None. They love us down here. They love it, and that shit's over. This is the end of their kicks. This is the end of their pokes. But on the way out, let them know. It's not okay. It's not okay. Like I said, I just did this. And I hope you will too. Jets fans, I'm with you. I'm with you. I got your back. Let me know if you need any support or what to do. I'll help you. That all said,